The impact of one realtor and one transaction that has a negative impact on the consumer turns into a bill that's slated against every practitioner in our industry, and they don't understand the ripple effect of what that does. I'm in an industry where I have no income limits. I have no one telling me what I can or can't do. The only thing that can disrupt it is state government or federal government or local government. And you guys are the ones monitoring everything to make sure that I have the right to practice. And I think that it's so undervalued and under-acknowledged because those who benefit from it don't know how much you went through to make it happen. And, every year, if I wasn't involved, if I hadn't been on legislative, I don't know that I would have seen it. It wasn't in the news. It wasn't on a letter that went out to everybody. And you guys try to do a good job of promoting that, I think more now than ever before. But it is a service that we couldn't do without. And for the cost of a Starbucks, right? While you're enjoying that coffee, you have the ability to pay for it. And that's what you defended. I think that's great.
Well, in being on legislative, we're getting ready to go into a legislative session. And so we're basically going into battle on what topics are going to come up. What are some of the topics you're hearing ahead of time? And what do you think's on the forefront?
No new taxes. Every year, taxes are at the forefront, whether it's property taxes, sales taxes, random taxes. Just things that we had the margins tax come up a while back, which doesn't really hurt the average realtor isn't making over $4 million, but most real estate companies are earning $4 million in commissions. And so if you think about that, all of these costs that happen, all of these taxes that they're just let alone to, take care of different issues throughout the state, cause an agent to pull that money out of their pocket before they ever earn it or split it with their broker. And so when we think about that, and you brought the sales tax on service, that's been one for 2 decades that's come up because of the state budget and the issues that they have. And one time I heard it would be like imagining there'd be a 3% split on every single time your check passes to someone's hands. So from the consumer to the title company, from the title company to the broker, from the broker to you, you just paid that split. And Nevada Realtors stood in front of that several times.
Yeah. And I really want to pause on that thought, because when you really, really, really think about that impact on your bottom line, that's massive, right?
That's 10 years of dues.
Yeah. That's to be taxed at all those levels. And by the way, these things are not far off. This is actual legislation that if it's not put in a bill at the beginning of the year, one line, if we're not watching it, one line on day 119, this stuff could get slipped in. And so it's that level of advocacy for your entire livelihood, right?
It's the small occurrences, and this is what shocks me about this. The impact of one realtor and one transaction that has a negative impact on the consumer, and that consumer is either a legislator or related to a legislator, turns into a bill that's slated against every practitioner in our industry, saying that we're all bad. And I've sat down with you and many of the legislative leadership, and they look at us and say, well, realtors only want this. They don't care about tenants. It's not true. Half of my income comes from tenants that I'm helping and supporting. You own a property management company where that company is deprived or dependent on tenants coming in and renting those properties and paying their rents. And so it's just the stigmatism that because I have this or I do this, I only care about one thing. And it's been that bad where one legislator had an experience where they went to apply for something and said, oh, I'm going to fix this industry. And they don't understand the ripple effect of what that does. The other thing you said, 900 bills on average were reading, not monitoring, but reading. You've had to sit there days and read.
Yeah, for the one line that they slip in. And when you open up a chapter of the law, you're risking
everything else
unintended consequences, right? And when we say just pass good law, just pass good policy, I think that's something that also there could be great ideas, but then you're having so many different stakeholders that are coming together and trying to negotiate to get what they want. And it's rushed because 120 days actually goes fast. And then you pass a program that they might have funding for, but they don't have people in place. So for us as a Nevada Realtors, it's really, really, really important to ask the hard questions. That's why we don't mind hard questions here, because we'd rather ask the hard question. We're used to it. Ask the hard questions and actually think things through so that we can come up with the best plan.